A beautiful glass body, triple rear cameras with Zeiss branding, and a water drop display. Now this is the Nokia 7.2, and in today's video, we're gonna unbox it and take a close look. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and if you end up liking what you see in this video, please turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. The Nokia 7.2 comes with the usual Nokia packaging. There's the 3-year software update seal to the top left corner, and to the back of the box we have a rundown of the important specs, the highlights. Looking around the box, there are more stickers and stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Let's take our unboxing knife and cut through the tape. Opening it up, here's the phone wrapped up in a cover. Looks like we have a dedicated Google Assistant button here. Anyway, let's get rid of this cover and take a look at the phone. This is the charcoal variant, and the glass back, it seems to have an almost matte finish on it. Looks pretty classy. There's a big circular camera bump as well. Anyway, let's switch the phone on and set it aside for the time being. Taking a look at what else we have inside the box: a SIM ejector pin, a quick start and product safety guide, followed by a smaller cardboard box that houses a 10-watt charger and the USB Type-C cable. Oh, seems like Nokia has also bundled in earphones with the 7.2, although they do seem to be quite basic, at least at first glance. And that's pretty much it for the box contents. So with that out of the way, let's now take a closer look at the Nokia 7.2 itself. We have a glass sandwich design here, right? And this is Corning's Gorilla Glass 3 that we find on both sides. The materials and finish that Nokia has gone for, it's a little different. The frame is in metal. Instead it is a polymer composite that weighs half as that as aluminum, but it's supposed to be twice as strong as regular plastic. And thanks to that matte finish, the back doesn't pick up fingerprints as easily. In a world full of shiny glass backs and gradient finishes, the Nokia 7.2, it doesn't look as flashy, but if classy and elegant is what you're looking for, it certainly does fit the bill. Personally, I like the looks here. I do wish there was a protective case included, because this camera bump, it's quite prominent, and every time I set the phone down, I'm kind of afraid I'm gonna scratch the glass or something. Anyway, time we take a look around the device now. The headphone jack and the secondary mic, they're up top, so yes, headphone jack is present and accounted for. The power and volume keys are present to the right. We find the speaker grill, USB Type-C port, and the primary microphone to the bottom, and to the left, there's the Google Assistant button and a tray. Now this is a triple card tray, so dual SIMs and micro SD. So the dedicated Google Assistant key is just the beginning. Google integration runs pretty deep here with the 7.2. This phone is part of the Android One program. Nokia promises 3 years of security updates along with 2 years of major OS updates for this phone. Now, given how speedy they've been in the past when it comes to updating their phones, even the budget ones, even the lowest priced Nokia ones, this one should probably be the first in line for updates in the segment. Even for the Android 10 update, it should probably be the first in segment to get it. Nokia has also included 3 months of 100 gigs Google One membership at no cost with each Nokia 7.2 sold. So that's a pretty sweet deal too. The rest of the software, it is what you'd expect from an Android One phone. It's stock Android Pie. Nokia has kept it clean, adding a few features of their own like gestures and of course their own camera app, but for the most part it is clean stock Android 9 Pie, free of ads or any bloat whatsoever. The overall experience here, it's pretty fast and snappy, though we only get a Snapdragon 660 chip underneath. It kind of feels like Nokia is always a year late to the game. This is not the first time either. Nokia has kind of been doing this a lot. Snapdragon 636 when everybody's been selling 660, 835 at the time of 845. We've kind of been saying that they're super fast with the software but kind of slow with the hardware. I guess we can't have it all. Anyway, we get 4 or 6 gigs of RAM coupled with 64 gigs of onboard storage. The micro SD card, the dedicated support for that, it provides room for added external storage if need be. Well, the chip inside could have, or rather should have been better. Nokia have stepped it up with regards to the display. We have a bigger 6.3-inch IPS panel here compared to the 5.84-inch one we found on the Nokia 7.1. The notch returns, but this time around it's much smaller. It's the Dewdrop form factor, and it has a 20 megapixel selfie camera. The bezels, they're about okay-ish by 2019 standards. Returning to the panel itself, we have support for HDR10 as well as Widevine L1. This means we can stream our favorite shows from Netflix and Amazon Prime in HD resolution and watch them come alive on this bright and vivid panel. Nokia has also included a dynamic mode here, which, as the name suggests, can dynamically change the color, contrast and brightness according to the content. It also includes an option to kind of convert standard dynamic range content into HDR, something I'd like to test a lot more in depth when I actually review this phone. Now, one more interesting thing, Nokia has added an ambient display mode despite the 7.2 not sporting an AMOLED panel. Now, what remains to be seen is how that plus the larger 6.3-inch screen and that 14nm chip affects the battery life. Nokia, they have upgraded the battery capacity here by almost 500 mAh. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this 3500 mAh battery performs in real world scenarios. We have AI assisted adaptive battery, but does that actually make a difference, or is it just another marketing buzzword? You're gonna have to wait till the full review to find out. As far as charging speeds go, we have an included 10-watt charger in the box, and that seems to be all we are getting, as the 7.2 does not have fast charging support, which in 2019 is a big negative because we are seeing phones under 10K have support for it, even if they don't ship with a fast charger. Now, summing up the Sunbreeze, we have a rear-mounted fingerprint sensor here that was fast and very accurate, but the face unlock was a tad inconsistent and on the slower side of things. The bottom-firing speaker, that was quite decent. We also have FM radio functionality on board. Finally, coming to optics, now this is where we have the biggest change. We now have 3 rear cameras instead of 2. The primary being a 48 megapixel snapper with an f1.8 lens. As expected, the shots turned out pretty good. Impressive dynamic range and crisp detail. The colors are punchy, and that's thanks to the AI scene detection that we have on board. It even suggests to switch over to night mode when the light isn't good enough. So I thought, why not give that a try too? And it worked okay, brightening up the images a bit and making things a lot more visible. The 8 megapixel ultra wide camera also has a night mode, but the shots from that were noticeably worse. By that I mean there's a lot more noise and often they came out blurry. The ultra wide shooter did fare better in brighter conditions, taking some reasonably good looking pictures. The third sensor, that's 5 megapixels for depth detection. And this one comes with some cool portrait effects. You see that Zeiss branding on the camera bump? Well, it's there because this camera can mimic the bokeh out lighting effects that can be achieved by some Zeiss lenses. We didn't get to play around with lights and the portrait mode much, but it is yet another thing I intend to actually test out when I get to the review. As far as edge detection goes, it was a bit sloppy at times, but the background blur, it was pretty strong. Nokia also allows us to edit the Zeiss portrait effects and add beauty filters after the photo's been taken. In fact, the Nokia camera app is quite feature loaded. It lets us shoot raw, adjust the depth after the shot has been taken, and even has a motion mode which I guess ups the shutter speed to capture fast moving subjects. We also have a split mode that can take a split screen or picture-in-picture photograph from the front and back cameras at the same time, kind of like the Bokeh mode we had in the past. Anyway, coming back to the hardware side of things, we have 4K 30fps video recording through the primary rear shooter, and if you don't mind sacrificing detail a bit, 1080p footage is much smoother with EIS enabled. The 20 megapixel selfie shooter does a pretty good job. Skin tones looked natural and even edge deduction was pretty good. So wrapping this one up, the Nokia 7.2 is priced at 18,599. That is 18,600 rupees, right? And already it is available on some portals like Tata Click for 16,799. The 660 might not be very recent, but it's still quite powerful, and if updates, if they are something that's quite high on your list of priorities, then no one's got a better track record than HMD Global's Nokia. If the cameras here, they do deliver, they do seem promising after all. If they actually end up delivering, then the 7.2 could carve out quite a niche for itself. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think HMD Global's done enough here, or do you feel they should have been more aggressive? The 660 at this price just doesn't cut it anymore. We've got 675, 712. We've got the 730 from Redmi very close. So do you think HMD Global should have been more aggressive? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that, we get to the end of this quick little unboxing video, or rather a little bit more detailed unboxing video. Let me know what you feel about the video, if you liked it, if you hated it, and I guess subscribe if you haven't yet. Turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you've already subscribed. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4 Retech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye bye.